Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome here to race number one of season four, the NR 2003 Red Bull GT Series. We're back for the fourth season here for the Red Bull GT Series, getting ready for today's Coca-Cola race here in Massachusetts. Kasumi Takashi gets her first pole on the season. She is on the pole position alongside of Jared Johnson, Skylar Taylor, and Matthew Hubert in row number two. I find this funny that the first three rows are female drivers, and the first three drivers on the outside are male drivers. I find that really funny and hilarious right now, looking at the grid here today. Joan Smith is the highest of the rookie drivers for today's race. Look at the rest of the starting lineup. Sarah Redmond, Ricky Cervantes bringing up the rear of the field, but anything can really happen in today's race. Let's get these cars rolling off. Getting ready for 59 laps. These drivers will have to make a pit stop in today's race. There were 48 drivers here for the 42 starting positions. Sadly, 6 drivers failed to qualify. And to refresh your mind, as I'm sorry about Randy the plumber interrupting me because I was watching a video. 6 drivers that failed to qualify. Couple of shockers. Logan Williams, as I don't know why my phone was being a derping hyena. Logan Williams had his long consecutive streak come to an end. Courtney Lynn, Ponzo Alvarez, Zachary Fitzwater, the 33 of I think it was John Smith or whatever, and Annie Crenshaw. All 6 of them had to go home as they did not make this week's race. And out of those 6 drivers, Lynn, Fitzwater, and Crenshaw are from the Oreo Cup series. So disappointed for those drivers that had to go home. You know, Courtney Lynn, Zachary Fitzwater, and Annie Crenshaw, they're already on their way over to the Oreo Cup series for their next race. Thankfully, they're locked in the show with a charter, so hooray for them. But sad that they're not in this race. But these 42 drivers are. Green flag is in the air. Season 4 is underway. Yeah! The famous TCB Yeehaw impression that I'm going to do. Nobody had any issues on the grid or coming to the green, so that is fantastic news. Going to be a very long 59 laps on the super speedway. I don't know why my phone keeps going off with these spammers. Takashi leads the first lap of the new season of the Red Bull GT Series, with Andrew Williams making his return into the series. I just put him in a ride in a last minute effort. As Takashi currently leads this race, I'm trying to get to former winners, but my phone wants to be a derping hyena and not let me get to the former winners here at Coca-Cola. Oh, we got a wreck. We got a wreck. I just heard scraping. Look at. Oh my God, who is that flipping? Oh my God! Ingrid Pollard! Holy shnikey! Annie Peterson's involved. Caution is out. Oh, the wrecking. Oh, the big one! Monroe is in it. John Smith the fourth. Remember, he's in a backup car. Chaz Farmer, Matthew Hubert, Davis Santi. We've had the big one. I was going to look up who our former winners are at Coca-Cola, and then I heard scraping. The caution is out. The big one strikes on lap number 3. Oh my goodness. J Ard is the race leader. Sebastian Palmer, Peterson, Timo Mauser's on pit road. He's out of the race. John Smith, Henrietta Fitzwater, Chaz Farmer, David Santi, Dana Monroe, Reagan Whitlock's out of the race. Goodness gracious. We are going to have to throw the red flag. There's a lot of debris these drivers are going to have to go through. And while we do that, let's jump back, look at a replay, see what happens. The big one strikes in the first race, lap 3, for our mega one here at Coca-Cola. The officials have displayed the red flag and have asked the drivers that were not involved to go down to come into their pit stalls while they clean up this mess. There's the contact there, the 16, Brooke Packett, Addison Peterson. Oh no, I've seen, oh my word. That was a major hit. Look at that 45 car going up and over. Look at the helicopter view. I'm going to go ahead and flip it over to. Look at that. Side over side, end over end. Good night. I've never seen that car get launched in the air like that at a Coca-Cola Super Speedway race ever. I bet you the 45 got really dizzy. Hate that for Addison Peterson. Brooke Packett got involved, but what happened? Let's actually rewind it. What happened up here with I see what happened here. As you can go away, please and thank you. Need to throw somebody down the mountain into the cap dive for calling me while I'm right in the middle of a recording session. Good grief. Looks like that's the 01 and the 15. I think they're the ones that's going to make the contact. Yep, with the help of Reagan Whitlock down into John Smith. And you know the sentence, what goes down must come up? That's exactly what's about to happen here. Just no traction. The 55 is involved. By the way, that's one of that car is a former winner. That's Sam Tenley. Look at that. John Smith is the catch fence. Davis Santi going on its side. Chaz Farmer's involved. There's Reagan Whitlock, Matthew Hubert. That's a lot of drivers. Timo Mauser. Well, hate that for Captain Frank. Sebastian Palmer. How did Sebastian get a piece of this? Wonder who got into that. Oh, he had nowhere to go. I think he's the one that lifted John Smith. Wow, look at that. Dana Monroe. Thank goodness the car landed back on its wheels. Oh, and they still kept wrecking. They still wrecked. Cervantes. How did they? Oh, I talked about the apron where the transition from the flat to the banking. I think the 23 is going to hit the banking. Same with Fitzwater, Henrietta Fitzwater. Elena Aurora, I didn't realize she was involved in this. Trinity Lee. Sean Ard just wrecked the field, but he got more than what he bargained for. Oh, Shyla Asgaroff got a piece of it. She had it miss until Fitzwater came and cleaned her out, but I don't think she's got too much damage on her machine. 38 doing a bunny hop. Same with the 13 of Elena Aurora. Yeah, Shyla did get a piece of it. Let's take it on board with Eric Alpha. I don't know if he got any damage or not. Looks like he did. He got the wall. Yeah, he got up in the wall. He got up in the wall, stayed up there. So he might have a little bit of right side damage on his Viper, but I think he'll be okay. But some of these guys not so lucky. Josh Harmon also got a piece of it, but the big one strikes on lap number 3 of this race. We have a lot of drivers out of the race as a result, and some drivers are going to have to go into go or go home qualifying heading into our next race of this series. Cautions out for the first time, Dave. Let's take a commercial break, and on the other side to break the restart here at Coca-Cola. Well, they just finished cleaning up the track, and we're about to go back to green on lap number 8 of 59, so we're still in the early stages of this race after the red flag just to clean up the mess and turn down the back straightaway into turn number 3. We'll give you the drivers out of the race in just a minute. J Ard is the leader, though. Henrietta Fitzwater is a lap down. Kasumi Takashi second. Cody Smart third. L Bianchi, the highest of the rookies, in fourth, with Andrew Williams in fifth. I think that's the 77. I'm sorry, I'm still learning names. Forgive me. Johann Schmidt is sixth. Vanco Seaman seventh. Sean R eighth. Ninth, Alexander Underwood, the defending series champion, and Kyler Anderson, the top 10. Reggie Fogleman is 11th. Skylar Taylor 12th. Cody Goforth 13th. Lizette Armstrong 14th, with Emma Keizer in 15th. Jonathan Wong 16th. The 20. Forgive me if I'm doing this. Johan Smith is 17th. Jared Johnson 18th, Bradley Reim 19th, with K Langeland 20th, 21st Ricky Cervantes, 22nd Sarah Redmond, making her debut in this series, even though she was a late entry. Josh Harmon 23rd, 24th Eric Alpha, Trinity Lee 25th, and Henrietta Fitzwater is 26th. Drivers out of the race, and there are a lot of them. I noticed there were some skid marks off turn 4, so I guess they were not done piling into one another. Maddie Crenshaw's out with an engine failure, and then these were the drivers out of the race as we're going to go back to green flag racing. Campbell Marsh, Elena, as we're back to green, Elena Aurora, Shyla Ascroft. I have a good feeling that little stack up, that little extra skid marks off of turn 4 had something to do with these drivers out of the race, or them piling into one another. Sam Tenley, Reagan Whitlock, Chaz Farmer, Davis Santi. I say Santi because I'm thinking the A is silent, but again, I could be wrong. So let me know how it's pronounced in the comments if I mispronounce your name. Dana Monroe, Matthew Hubert, Sebastian Palmer, John Smith IV, Brooke Packett. That's a shame for Brooke Packett. She had high hopes. Timo Mauser, Ingrid Pollard, and Addison Peterson, all out of the race. $25 on the lead lap, 26 of the 42 starters still in the race. And already, so I'm going to have to do a calculator here to figure this out. If you exclude Matty Crenshaw, who had an engine failure, that is 14 drivers out of the race from that big one. Kasumi Takashi, the Japanese driver, currently our race leader here. For some of these drivers that were involved in that big wreck, that is definitely not the way to start off the season. And I'm going to look up something in just a minute. I was actually looking it up right before the caution came out. Season 2, we made our debut at Coca-Cola. And of course, the 55 that was out of the race from that big one that's currently occupied this season by Sam Tenley. That was the car that won the inaugural race here in season 2 with Riley Pearson, who's no longer in the series. Getting back to former winners this season. And the defending winner of this event is also not in the field, but the car that is in the field right up there, which I think this is John Smith, I want to say. No, it's Jorgen Smith in the 20 machine. That is the car that Prudence Martindale won this race a year ago. So we are guaranteed a new winner in this series because, like I said, two of our former winners at Coca-Cola not in this field. So, Kasumi Takashi. Let's look up something just to make sure I'm not derping. Takashi last season finished fourth in the points, finished second in the Rookie of the Year standings when she drove the number 5 machine. 2 top 5s, 7 top 10s, 1 pole, led 3 laps. That is her second pole of her career in the Red Bull GT Series and her first of season 4. But she did not find victory lane last season. But she had a very good rookie year campaign, I will have to admit. Her and Elena Aurora were definitely two drivers that had a very good rookie campaign. And you got to give them credit for what they did last season. And of course, Elena Aurora now out of the race as a result of that big one. So I hope this is not going to be a quote unquote trend like what happened to Addison Peterson in the quote dreadful sophomore slump. But we still have a long season ahead of us, so anything can definitely happen. As Jared Johnson looking underneath J Ard. Jared Johnson finished last season. Well, Jared Johnson was a part-time driver. He finished 37th in points, but he was a part-time driver. And of course, Jared Johnson doesn't have an R next to his name. And, we talked about this with Reggie Fogleman and a couple of other drivers, is that the fact that they took part in more than 7 Red Bull GT Series races from either season 3 or, in Fogleman's case, season 2, they no longer qualify themselves for the Rookie of the Year honors. But they want to learn what they've learned from those seasons that they had when they were a rookie and see if they can apply into a good result. As Takashi, sorry, I keep thinking Sarah Redmond's in that 71, but it's Takashi. Speaking of Sarah Redmond, there she is in the 86. J Ard finished 14th in the points, 4 top 5, 6 top 10s, 6 laps led, but never found victory lane. First time she went winless all of last season. Last win for J Ard was back in season 2. Her brother Sean, 2 top 5, 7 top 10s, 1 pole, 6 laps led, finished 30th in points in the car that Reggie Fogleman's driving this season. And like his sister, never found victory lane. Sean Ard's last win was also back in season number 2. So the two drivers from Texas definitely have their work cut out for this season. I think they're about to lap Eric Alpha. Yes, they are. Remember, Eric Alpha was involved in the wreck in turn number 3 on lap number 3. And of course, he only got right side damage on his machine. And on an aerodynamic track like Coca-Cola, you don't want to get damage. Trinity Lee, she's currently off the pace. Same with Ricky Cervantes. Yeah, the field's going 221. He's going about almost 200 miles an hour, the 27. And here come the leaders about to lap the 27. And oh no! Eric Alpha just got into the 20 and another big one ensues. Josh Harmon is involved. Keizer, Kyler Anderson, Takashi the leader. Oh my goodness. The caution is out. Andrew Williams involved. Oh dear. I did not think that was going to happen, and it just did. Second caution of the day. And I think Eric Alpha tried to shut the door on the 20, and that was not going to work. That's a shame. Lizette Armstrong got involved. Takashi, Yogan Smith. Oh boy, there's going to be some tempers flaring after this one. Now we're going to wait. We're going to look back at a replay in just a minute. As J Ard's going to lead the field down, I think they're going to go ahead and make some pit stops, get these cars to the end of the race on fuel. But now we got a teensy tiny little field than what we started just moments ago. Oh, 99, please slow down. 99, please slow down. Kyler, slow down, slow down. Oh, Cervantes got brake checked by Josh Harmon there. Not sure what that was all about. These drivers are definitely going to make it the rest of the way on fuel now. So now you take that fuel equation out the window. By the way, driving the pace car is Betty Johnson. We will see her in the Oreo. We've seen her in the Oreo Cup Series along with Annie Thomas. So the caution's out for the second time today. Let's jump back a little replay while these drivers are finishing up their pit stops. All right, this is what happened. See, the field caught the 27, and the 27 was getting put a lap down, but yeah, as soon as the 27 tried to block the 20 was already there, and poor Lizette Armstrong had nowhere to go. A lot of drivers into the wall. Takashi goes on her side. Thankfully, it doesn't go into the catch fence. There's where Josh Harmon and Keizer got involved. You'll see it again. I think Harmon hits the apron right there. He shot up into the 49. Cody Smart got a piece of it in the 72, but I don't think Cody got the wall. Yeah, actually he did, just a little bit. And that's a shame for Takashi, who was leading this race until that happened. Yogan Smith involved. Lizette Armstrong. That's a shame for Lizette. Had high hopes coming into this race. Didn't deserve to be involved in this wreck. Same with Andrew Williams, but Tyler Anderson. And there's Keizer, Josh Harmon. But I really don't know why the spotter of the 27 did not say there was a car on the inside. Unfortunately, it took out so many other drivers who really shouldn't have been involved in this. So don't think the people are going to be happy with the 27 spotter after today's race. So the yellow's out for the second time today. Let's get to the restart here at Coca-Cola. Well, I hate to say this to everybody. We are now down to half the field. Half the field's back in the garage area. Half the field's still in the race. Oh, one more thing. We're not even at the midway point of this race, I like to point out. But anyway, we'll document the drivers out of the race in a minute. Bianchi is the leader after the cycle of pit stops. Skylar Taylor in second. J Ard in third. Jonathan Wong in fourth. How he's surviving, I don't know. Same with Reggie Fogleman in fifth. Sixth, Ricky Cervantes. Seventh, Cody Goforth. J Ard Johnson eighth. Bradley Ream ninth. And 10th, K Langeland. Sarah Redmond in 11th. How she's surviving, I don't know. Sean Art in 12th. How he's surviving, I don't know. Vanko Seaman, Alexander Underwood, the reigning champion, and Josh Harmon, top 15. Cody Smart, Trinity Lee, 77. I'm sorry I have to do this again because I still need to learn names. Jochen Schmidt, Emma Keizer, last car on the lead lap. Henrietta Fitzwater and the 20 of Jorgen Smith are now one lap down apiece. Drivers out after this incident. Andrew Williams, that's a tough break for him. Kyler Anderson, Lizette Armstrong, Eric Alpha, Kasumi Takashi, who was the leader at the time of this incident. That's a tough break for her. As we're back to green, and then they joined the rest of these drivers that were already behind the wall from the first caution. As we are back to green here at Coca-Cola. I can tell you this, I don't think the 20 is going to be happy with the 27. So I can tell you we're going to have some tempers flaring in the garage area when this is all said and done. But not the way we wanted to have that happen. And that really just what frustrates me is that, I understand you're a rookie and, you're trying to get out of the way, but you've got to know there's other cars coming. I mean, cars are a solid object, As the two rookies, Jonathan Wong and Lucian Bianchi. And also Skylar Taylor is going to take the lead. Skylar, I know, didn't go to victory lane in season 2. And I look at the results from last season's points. Skylar Taylor did find victory lane, which was her first career Red Bull GT Series win. However, she finished 15th in the points. 1 win, 6 top 5s, 8 top 10s, 1 pole, 40 laps. And the thing is, Dylan Van Dyke, who's led the most laps in season 3, finished in the 23rd position in the points. So there you go. There's Cody Goforth. Or should I say Sergeant Cody Goforth. He is in the military after all, and we want to thank Cody Goforth for what he does, for his services, for what he does in this great country of the USA. Cody Goforth would like to back up his part-time schedule with a good start to season 4, and there's the champ from season 3. That's that's Alexander Underwood, I'm sorry. Kyler Anderson's the defending series champ, I'm sorry. And there's Alexander's team owner, Bradley Ream, to the race lead. Bradley Ream is one of a few drivers that's been in this series since season 1. Bradley Ream, 1 win, 4 top 5, 6 top 10s, 1 pole, 40 laps led, only finished 13th in the points in the same ride. And I believe he also, I'm going to have to look at his season 2 stats. As if I can get my phone to please cooperate and stop resisting. Trying to go back to season 2, and for some apparent reason, it's not letting me unless I go back to the server I'm in. Hold on, let me do this. That's the video I wanted. Yes, go, please and thank you. And then Bradley Reim in season 2, as we have a lead change. Bianchi goes back to the lead. Bradley Reim did find victory lane in season 2. Bradley Reim didn't find victory lane in season 1. As E Keizer just came out of the pits, just past the halfway point of today's race. So Bradley Reim has 2 wins in the Red Bull GT Series, both from season 2 and season 3 last season. So Bradley Reim looking for his 3rd career Red Bull GT Series win. And first on the season, Cody Smart in 2nd place. Cody Smart's another one of those drivers that took part in the season. Of course, he finished 19th in points in season 1. Season 2, he was a 3-time winner, finished 13th in the points as he lost the lead to Jared Johnson. And then last season for Cody, he didn't find victory lane. Ended up 26th in the points. So Cody Smart has also been on a bit of a dry spell of recent, as the 10 of Vanco Siemens going for the lead. So Cody Smart's last win was back in season 2. But I do not remember what track it was. I know he was a 3-time winner in season 2. And of course, last season didn't find victory lane. So he will look to right the ship this time around. And of course, he's the only Smart Motorsport representative because his teammate Annie Crenshaw failed to qualify for this race. And Annie Crenshaw will be in Go or Go Home qualifying beginning next week at... Where are we actually going next week? Now that I bring that up. Go back to the Discord. Next week we head to Riverside. We're going to head to Riverside next week. Hope you will join us for that. We will have Go or Go Home qualifying at noon Eastern Standard Time. Then at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to go road course racing from Riverside Raceway in California. Before this series heads to the home race of Kasumi Takashi, the World Tour. The World Tour, which we will begin in her home country of Japan. I bet if you're Kasumi Takashi, you're looking forward to the Japanese tour. It's going to be actually a Japanese 1-2 punch. It's like the 77 is off the pace. Looks like he's lost the draft so far. That's Jochen Schmidt. There's Alexander Underwood, Bradley Reim. Bradley Reim was announced he will be driving for Penske Racing in the number 22 Ford Mustang Dark Horse in the Oreo Cup Series in 2026. Of course, he is a Joey Logano fan, and I respect his driver. Even though some people think I don't respect any driver in the NASCAR Cup Series, but I do. Because I stopped roasting about drivers, if you ask me. Just saying. Unlike some people who think I don't. Ahem, you know which server I'm referring to. As Alexander Underwood, it looks like we're going to catch Josh Harmon, and that is the 20. Of Jogan Smith. Oh, do not do what Eric Alpha did. There we go. Do not do what Eric Alpha did. The last thing we need to have happen is somebody pull an Eric Alpha like what we just had for our second yellow. Thankfully, they don't. I bet you Alexander Underwood's thinking to himself, not again. There's Jared Johnson in the 4. Jared Johnson's going to the Wood Brothers. I believe he's going to the Wood Brothers next season in the Oreo Cup Series, driving the Motorcraft Ford Mustang Dark Horse to replace Ian Dutta, who's currently in the 21 in the Oreo Cup Series for this season. There's Skylar Taylor. Don't know what her plans are for the Oreo Cup Series in regards to next season. She currently drives for 2311 Racing, so I'm not really sure if she's going to be back. I know Maddie Crenshaw is going to be back with 2311 Racing next season in the Oreo Cup Series. Because remember, Ricky Cervantes owns Maddie Crenshaw and most of the Indiana Motorsports drivers. Of course, that team shut down after the controversy that's been happening recently on Discord. As Jonathan Wong is now leading this race, as we're coming up to Trinity Lee. Trinity's going to try her best to not get in the way. Of course, she didn't pull down in front of people. Keep it up there, Trent. There you go, sweetheart. At least Trinity Lee knows how to keep it up there. Was announced Trinity Lee. Trinity Lee will be driving for RFK Racing in the Oreo Cup Series full-time next season. Of course, that 75 team over in the Oreo Cup Series has been struggling trying to make races. I mean, really been struggling. They're, I think, one of many drivers who've not made a start in the Oreo Cup Series. As that's J Ard. No, actually, Jared Johnson's driving for Front Row Motorsports next season. Actually, I just wrote that down. J Ard is actually going to be driving for the Wood Brothers next season. So Jared Johnson will be in the same number, same manufacturer, but he's going to be on a different team. As Lucian Bianchi, who has not been to victory lane since the Foster Series back at Memphis, believe it or not. As there's Jonathan Wong, there's Vinko Seaman. I know Quentin Moore will be back with Front Row Motorsports next season, so they still don't have the third ride in the 38 open. Or actually, that ride's still open right now. Zachary Fitzwater, we know, will be back with Legacy Motor Club. Because remember, Bradley Ream's moving over to Penske to join Cody Smart and Annie Crenshaw for 2026 as far as the teammates are concerned. Because remember, Bradley Ream, last time he drove the 22, he did find victory lane, but was not high enough in points in the Foster Series to have his win count for a spot into the playoffs. Ended up finishing, I want to say, like dead last of the drivers that have run of the full-time of the charter teams. Alexander Underwood. I know Bradley Ream will let me know about what rides that Brooke Packett and Alexander Underwood are going to be in for the Oreo Cup Series. There's Vanko Seaman. Vanko Seaman is a former GTS Array driver for, ironically enough, for yours truly in the GTS Array. Been racing in Europe. He is the first Macedonian driver to race in the Red Bull GT Series, believe it or not. As Bradley Ream leads the race. So I think there's going to be a lot of drivers that we don't know what their plans are. I know Sean Art is returning to Trackhouse in that 99 for another season of the Oreo Cup Series in 2026. Courtney Lynn, who failed to qualify, will be back with Hendrick Motorsports. Brenda Eveling, who's running part-time in the Go or Go Home for Richard Childress Racing, she's moving over to Hendrick Motorsports full-time next season to join Chris Washer, Kyle Langeland, who also is going to be in the 48 next season. And remember, Kyle Langeland, if I recall correctly from Foster's, the last time he drove the 48, I do not think he went to victory lane that season. And of course, a lot of these drivers are not racing in the Winston Cup Busch, and trucks, with the possible exception of Shyla Askarov, Courtney Lynn, Brenda Eveling, as far as those drivers are concerned. The ones that are going to be coming out as I'm recording this that are already been recorded. And if anybody asks, about the Craftsman Truck, Busch, and Winston Cup Series videos that I have on my channel, and asks why there were no signups, that was because all of those were recorded way in advance. And the crazy part about it is that when the NASCAR season is done, by the time you're watching this video, is when we begin the round of 8. So we have 4 more race weekends to worry about. There's Jarrett Johnson in the 4. Of course, Skylar Taylor, by the way, driving for 2311 this season. So, Bradley and Skylar, if you're watching this video right now, if you want to go ahead and DM me what rides you want to return. If you want to, well, actually, Bradley Reim, I already got your ride reserved because you're a Penske fan, as we got these two to worry about, Keizer and Fitzwater. But if you want to DM me your drivers or yourself in the rides for the Oreo Cup Series, you can do it in my DM, so that way I can get the sign-ups taken care of, because the quicker we get these reserve rides, as Fitzwater almost chopped off Cody Goforth. That was close. Almost became our third caution of the race. But as I was getting ready to say to Skylar and Bradley, if you're watching this video, if you want to send me your drivers, or in Skylar Taylor's case, you and your drivers, the reserves for your rides for the Oreo Cup Series, you can do it in my DM. I'll send you the list, is what I was going to get ready to say before that incident happened. And yes, we are running the next-gen cars for anyone asking about the Oreo Cup Series. So we're down to 10 laps to go. The next car about to go a lap down is J Ard. Josh Harmon's has been a lap down. I'll say this, Keizer is still on the lead lap. That's or still in this race. Can't believe she's still running in 20th. But this race is really taking a shaker. Been a long race here at Coca-Cola, excuse me. As we're now inside the final 10 laps of the race, and as I said before, fuel is not going to be an issue for these drivers, so that's a good thing. While Jonathan Wong, J Ard, and Alexander Underwood are fighting for the lead, let me remind everybody this copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of the World Racing Association and the Blue Hedgehog TV for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction or rebroadcast or retransmission or any other disseminations or the use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the World Racing Association and the Blue Hedgehog TV is prohibited. Blue Hedgehog TV want to thank you fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. Uh-oh. Jared Johnson's in trouble, and he was in the top 5. He's off the pace. Something is wrong with Jared Johnson. That's going to take him out of contention to win this race. They surely cannot be having fuel issues because they've already came to pit road. I wonder if that's a mechanical problem, as Skylar Taylor's looking to take the lead, but she gets boxed in by the 20 and the 78. That's going to possibly allow the 10. Never mind. I was about to get right out. It's going to allow the 10 to get by her for the lead, but nope. Skylar Taylor's going to take the lead. Oh, may I remind you, Josh Harmon and Skylar Taylor are teammates at ST Motorsports. I should remind you all. So Josh Harmon was being a great teammate to Skylar Taylor. That's fitting. Since when does Josh Harmon become a great teammate to Skylar Taylor? Probably the first for a lot of us. But in all seriousness, though, as Cody Goforth, oh, they had to pit. They couldn't make it. Oh, we got fuel mileage in the making, ladies and gentlemen. So the question is, will these drivers have to make it on fuel? Or are they going to run out? Oh boy. I thought they could have made it on fuel, to be honest with you. And all of a sudden, fuel mileage has cropped up out of nowhere. This race has gotten insane, and it's only the first race of the year. These drivers have to pit. Sarah Redmond stays out with 5 laps of racing to go. What on earth has this race become? This race that started with 2 big wrecks has ended in drama fuel mileage. It's only the first race of the year. J Ard also stayed out. Do these two have to pit? Oh boy. Fuel mileage for the first race of the year that I did not expect. So this says to me, this is a 2-stopper. And they have to pit. Oh my goodness. This race has turned into a shocker that quickly. Oh my goodness me. And we're going to come to 4 laps of racing to go. So they definitely need a splash of fuel to make it to the end. I don't know what on earth this race is becoming. This race has gone absolutely bonkers. And it's only the first race of season 4, for crying out loud. As if we need any more excitement in this race today, folks. Good night. Bradley Reim is 3rd. There's J Ard, Sarah Redmond. Bradley Reim's already up to speed. If the next caution comes out, this will end the race under the yellow. And Bradley Reim right there has just taken the lead. Can this race get any more weirder than what it's already gotten? I mean, we already have half the field still in this race, half the field's in the garage after the 2 yellows we've had today. And all of a sudden, fuel mileage comes out of absolutely nowhere. What we thought was going to be a 1-stop race turned into a 2-stop race. As we're down to 3 laps of racing to go here at Coca-Cola. Cody Goforth, Trinity Lee is a lap down. You cannot make this up like Jamie McMurray, in the words of my friend Mark Oliveras. Good night. If this race is any indication, I'm excited for the super speedways if we're going to have fuel mileage possibly coming into play. The 6 is not going to be on the lead lap. The 77 is a lap down, may I remind you. As we're down to 2 laps of racing to go, 77 realizes that, backs off, lets Bradley Reim go by. This race has turned into an absolute shock fest. Don't know if J Ard or these drivers are going to have time to catch up to the leader, Bradley Reim. And we're coming to the white flag here at Coca-Cola. And there's the flag that Bradley Reim's been waiting for. White flag in the air. Final lap. One more to go here at Coca-Cola. Sponsored by Red Bull. That's the flag that Bradley Reim's been waiting for. Can he hold off the leaders? Here comes Alexander Underwood. Remember, Underwood is Bradley Reim's driver. Keep that in mind. Down the backstretch for the final time. I don't know if he's going to have enough. We could end up having Bradley Reim, Alexander Underwood score a 1-2 for Reim from Bradley Reim's account. And off at turn 4, he can coast home. And Bradley Reim is going to win the season opener at Coca-Cola. And Goforth nipped J Ard for second. That was a classic. Bradley Reim's third career Red Bull GT Series win and first of the season. And what have we described what on earth just happened in this race? Well done to Bradley Reim. That was a good race. Bradley Reim will take that Harley Davidson Ford Mustang to victory lane. Don't worry about the Canon stuff because I'm recording that in advance, so just FYI. Bradley Reim is the winner. Cody Goforth, J Ard complete the podium. Sarah Redmond will be the highest of the rookie drivers. She'll be the rookie points leader heading into next week's race at Riverside. Alexander Underwood 5th. Jonathan Wong gets 6th. Vanco Seaman 7th. Ricky Cervantes, Skylar Taylor, and Reggie Fogleman will complete the top 10. Take a look at the drivers who finished this race. L Bianchi 11th. Cody Smart, Kyle Langeland, Sean Art was the last driver to finish on the lead lap. So we had 14 drivers on the lead lap. 21 finished the race, with Jogan Smith the last of them, as he was the only one 3 laps down. 2 laps down was Henrietta Fitzwater, Josh Harmon. The 77, I'm just going to look it up on Discord, just so that way I'm not screwing this up royally. If you hear my roommate Steven yelling, I do apologize. Even though he is across from me, just so you know. Jogan Schmidt, Jared Johnson, Emma Keizer were a lap down. Oh, I forgot Trinity Lee was also 2 laps down. And everybody else finished out of the race. As you look on down to the remainder of the finishing results, and where Dana Monroe is, that cut line right there, that would be top 35 would be locked into the show next week, and that means from 36 on down, plus the 6 drivers that failed to qualify for this race, They're going to have to make the show for it next week at Riverside, so that means they're going to have their work cut out. But look at these big names that we all thought could have had good results. Ingrid Pollard, who was dizzy, Brooke Packett out of the race, Sebastian Palmer, Matthew Hubert, Addison Peterson, who finishes last, or in Cody Smart's case, the reverse winner, Chaz Farmer, Lane Aurora. A lot of these drivers who had great seasons last season and seasons prior to that, out of the race. That's a disappointment. But congratulations to Bradley Ream on his first win of season 4. He will be the points leader heading into next week's race. So Bradley Ream's team picking up right where they left off in season 3 with a championship. And they win the season opener here in season 4. Hope you guys enjoyed this crazy Coca-Cola Super Speedway race. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the World Racing Association crew today. The same results are going to be the same as far as the points and rookie points are concerned. I will also make sure to put the 6 drivers that failed to qualify for this race down there at the bottom that have 0 points. So, yeah, so there you go. We'll see you guys next time at Riverside. Until then, I've been Deedeville signing off as you've been watching another broadcast courtesy of the World Racing Association, the greatest racing since 2013. Goodbye from Coca-Cola.